Hey, everybody. What do we have on here tonight so far? We got James Bergeron, Andy B., Wayne Tharp. How you guys doing? Also tonight, I have with me Randy with G4 Outdoors. He's no stranger to the channel. But we do have several new subscribers since Randy was on, I think. So, Randy, if you want to introduce yourself, let it rip.
My name is Randy. No, what's going on, guys? It's Randy with G4 Outdoors. We are an outdoors channel dedicated to outdoor products. G4s started out as guitars, girls, green grass, and guns. I like to mow yards. I like to be around grass, whichever grass. I don't film one of them. And a lot of guns and whatnots outdoors. So anyway, we like to have a good time over there. I appreciate anybody that likes any of those video over there to go on and hit that subscribe button. Do it. It's free. If you don't like any of my videos, just give it a thumbs down. If you really don't like it, thumbs down it twice. That helps me out a bunch. And mostly we do, I think, more fishing than anything. But anyway, we like to have a good time over there. So stop by, check that out if you would.
Fishing this time of year is kind of out, though.
Oh, just got a fishing report from Smithville Lake. They were hammering the crappie today.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So who we got in comments now? We got J. Chris Beck, Andrew Cole, Earl Regular. How are you doing? David Rigoni. I hope I pronounced that right. Rigoni. Jason Heltzley, Bob Roberts, checking in from Nova Scotia, Canada. Love your channel. Thanks, Bob.
No kidding.
He's pretty close to Oak Island, and I watch that series religiously. Sooner or later, they're going to find something. And my son's like, Dad, I don't even know why you're watching that, because if they would have found something, it'd be on the news. I'm like, stop spoiling it, kid.
It would be on the news, and that's a funny topic because people get so sucked into that show.
Yeah, it's got cranes on it and heavy equipment. I mean, what's not to like about it? It's kind of like my channel.
Where's Chris Beck from?
J. Chris Beck is over Tennessee, Kentucky area, I think.
How does he even know about Smithville? It's not a good lake.
I don't know. Lakesider Ranch. How are you doing, Doug? Oh, Bob Roberts, 0 miles from Oak Island. Been there. Oh, Elkton, Maryland. I screwed that way up with the Tennessee, Kentucky thing, didn't I?
Yeah, well, James Bergeron, that's why you don't put Christmas lights up.
Wayne Tharp makes a good point. He said, I wish YouTube would change the subscribe term to something else. I've met many older folks, mainly, that truly believe they will be charged. And I have people ask me all the time, like, well, how much does it cost to subscribe? I'm like, dude, it's free. Just hit the button. Dirt Perfect. Hey, guy from Derby.
Thank you, Mr. Heltzley.
Dirt Perfect says from Derby. Is that like Derby, Indiana?
Yeah, I could do probably 5 mole videos a year. Those things are... Do you have moles in your yard?
No. No, I did at my other house, but you've been fighting moles for years. I mean, years.
Massachusetts.
Oh, Dirt Perfect's in Derby, Indiana. We're actually going to be down there over spring break. We're going to go back down and hang out with Logger Wade a little bit. And actually, my wife and daughter are going to go see the same stuff that my son and I did when we were down there.
Southern Illinois. Hello, Alan.
Blue Line Landworks, how are you doing tonight? I wish Blue Line wasn't so far away. I would hire him to give me some footage with his drone.
They've been talking about Oak Island for a long time.
Yeah, a couple 100 years at least. Hard Hat Divers Corps Pass if I ever run crawlers. I've played in some crawlers, but the company I'm with, we've got one crawler. It's an old 1978 Link Belt 318. and I'm going to do my best to avoid it. So I'm going to stick with big hydros. Fireman 3174, how are you doing? From North Carolina. Big deal country. Big deal 18.
Florida. Got them all over, bud.
I've got some, I think, like in India. Probably Mark from Microsoft is following my channel, I'm guessing. For those that haven't watched that video, part 1 of my trommel disassembly, I got a nice call from Microsoft tech support right in the middle of the video. So I just rolled with it while I was sitting there in the crane. Blue Line's working on a new logo. Let's see. Triple X has got a quick question. We're buying a used crane. Is the boom inspected and certified, stress cracks, x-rays, and such? Or you just stand back and highball it and say it looks good? No, when buying a new crane, when buying a used crane, I wouldn't buy one without a current annual inspection. Like, I want it done right before I buy it. And they don't go so deep as x-rays, but they get checked over pretty closely. So, Anthony Woodfin, hey, from Tennessee, newly certified, been watching for a few weeks. All right. We got a lot of people hanging out tonight. 47, I think. I think Jason and Brandon almost had 100 last night. They had quite a few.
Jason, I noticed a ladder right underneath the front of his bumper. I'm not sure about a jack handle, though.
Oh, okay. Jason Helsley's that jack handle under the front bumper. There is a crank handle under there, and if you watch my jib installation video, that's the hand crank for cranking the pins in. Because the way the pins are designed is they've got a screw jack system between them. So as you crank the handle, you stick the handle in the bottom of one of the pins, and it's got a screw jack in it. And as you crank it, it pushes the pins out. So.
And there is a ladder underneath your front bumper, right?
Yep, there's a ladder down there too. Drew Bradley asked, are some of the sheaves plastic? They are. All of them in the tip of the boom are plastic, and all of them in the block are plastic. Wayne's trying to stay caught up on comments. It gets kind of tough sometimes. Wayne says, can't drones be flown over a Wi-Fi connection? The military can, so Blue Line can fly your job from this couch. That would be awesome. So J. Chris Beck says plastic sheaves. I kind of doubt it. No, they are indeed plastic. All the sheaves on the boom are plastic.
I don't even know what a sheave is.
It's the pulley that the cable runs over.
Is plastic?
It's plastic. Tis nylon reinforced plastic. They're tougher than woodpecker lips, man.
Sounds kind of tough.
The reason why they do that is it saves wear on your rope. Sheaves are cheaper to replace than your rope is. But they're basically made out of the same material that the boom wear pads are made out of, pretty close to. So they're tough. But if you side load the crane, like say you have your boom sticking up here and you're trying to pull something from the side, which you're not supposed to do because you can break your boom off. And there's some videos on YouTube of that happening. But you can break the plastic shivs too.
Hey, while you were lifting that trommel, I know that I saw that your cables had a pretty steep angle on them. Were you approaching like maximum angle on those?
Oh, on the bottom when I was pulling that base out?
Don't know which one it was, but they were sticking pretty far out. They had a pretty wide angle on them.
Like this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way the lifting lugs were set up on that base, they're welded in at a 45. So the sling angle was 45 degrees to line up with the lifting lugs. Oh. But I wasn't maxing those spreaders out. Those are 1.5 inch cable spreaders. I could pick the crane up with those spreaders at that sling angle.
Well, I know that in a previous video you talked about little marks that were down at the bottom of the big hook that you're not supposed to exceed.
Oh, yeah. The way those spreaders are set up is they're in a continuous ring. So there's an oval ring at the top, and then those spreader legs fit in that ring.
Oh, I got you.
But it was a 45-degree sling angle. So we were good.
Yeah, that was actually a cool video.
I was hoping Gold Rush would see it and be like, hey, why are you calling us out on our stupidity? Or over dramatization of certain things. I mean, I understand they do it for the views, but I mean, really, anybody with some sense can see through that drama.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, I could do the same thing on my channel. I could have cut scenes and I could have Andy narrate in his deep movie producer voice. And
yeah, if my day went as crappy as their days go every day, I'd shoot myself.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. There's no way people can put up with that much stuff that isn't self-inflicted or that isn't staged.
Jeff Skews, stick around for a while.
He says, stop in for a visit here. Jeff Skews, I'm wondering if he's talking about when I head down to southern Indiana.
Aha.
Handy B, no guts, no glory. Also, tentatively, January 18th or the weekend of, I'm going to be heading down to my brother's place in Texas, and we're going to get started on some stuff for the second channel that we're going to start. But I'm still not going to divulge what that channel is. But you guys will be pleasantly surprised, I think. Randy knows what it is. Drew Bradley says, you ever work with any of those record rotator folks? We would if, I mean, I almost had to go set up the crane and pull a 90-ton crane out of a ravine last year, and they ended up getting it out with a couple of rotators. But I haven't had to yet, but we would absolutely do so. Oh, Jeff Skew says, just stopped in here to see what's going on tonight. Just a couple of people chatting, Jeff. If you want to stick around, awesome. I don't know. My live streams, you never know what's going to be talked about. We might talk about cranes. We might talk about trucks. I think a few of them we've talked about guns. I mean, you never know where it's going to travel to.
Holy cow. 45 Nuts says Todd was paid $1 million for the first show.
Really? Huh. Well, I would probably add a little drama to my channel for $1 million.
Yeah.
James Bergeron said Ron Pratt's video where he helped the crane was really cool. That was a cool video, and I commented on it, and I didn't put in the comments everything that I saw that was kind of wrong with that setup, but there was a lot going on that people wouldn't be happy with in that video.
Jason, absolutely. As soon as the weather starts to get better, I will be back on the cats. You're going to see a lot more smaller catfish coming in the boat. My favorite catfish bait company has started production back up. They went from their garage. They built a big building out back. So they're starting production back up on absolutely the best catfish bait in the world, guaranteed.
Sunny super sticky.
Yeah, and I'm going to make a video comparing it to all others. You'll catch 2.5 pounders all day long. So I plan on. I'm excited for that to get back out. It's been about 2 years since they've made it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. Diecast Nathaniel, how are you doing? Yeah, that Sunny super sticky. You made a believer out of me that time that we were in the old plastic canoe in the Platte River. I was throwing night crawlers out, and you threw Sunny super sticky right next to it, and you instantly had a fish on.
It's amazing.
I need to do some fishing with the old crane.
I don't think it would be that hard.
No, it wouldn't. I'd have a tough time knowing if I had one nibbling, though.
But it would just be catfishing. That's all you'd catch. Put a nasty.
Yeah. Friendly, Randy.
Yeah. Yeah, just put a nasty treble hook on there. They'll get caught.
Yeah. So Diecast Nathaniel said he just subscribed and liked. Well, thanks for coming over and hanging out with us. Let's see. Dave Riccone said you'd have to throw some life-threatening drama into your videos to compete with unreality TV. Yeah, it's I don't know. I could do it, but I'm not going to. I want to keep my channel real.
Have Rich come over and throw some fists at you every once in a while.
Yeah, I'd go to Fist City with my oiler. That probably wouldn't be good. Hard Hat Divers Corp says, do you trust the LMI or do the math on deductions every pick? Yes and no. If it's a critical pick, something that I'm going to be real deep into my load chart, then I put everything on a piece of paper. If it's something where it's just going to be nice and easy, whatever, I just go out and do it. So it comes with knowing the machine and spending time in it. Andy B says, I think it's time for a new cell tower. I don't think it is, Andy B. That is my least favorite job, or cell phone towers. And my boss just told me the other day, he said, hey, I just quoted some work to a cell tower company. I'm like, all right, whatever. I guess we'll do it.
Chris Beck, no, I haven't. I haven't done any saltwater fishing.
John Avery, put it on a barge and use a net. We could do her. Oh, that's Drew Bradley makes a good point. He says the more folks who hit the like button, the more folks get notified. So, yeah, if people don't mind, hit that thing there, up there at the top of the chat. So, Diecast Nathaniel asks, how do you ever get over 4,000 subscribers? Lots and lots of work. It's lots of work. Or it's either lots and lots of work or lots and lots of time. So.
Yeah, YouTube isn't. Oh man, it is work. It's a job.
Yeah, it's so much of a job that I'm trying to decide now if I'm a full-time YouTuber and a part-time crane operator, or a full-time crane operator and a part-time YouTuber. I don't know which it is at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot more than just pushing the record button and throwing it up on YouTube.
I mean, you can do that, but you're not going to have the success with it. Or if you do, it's going to be short-lived. So like you see the people that have the viral cell phone camera video, and that's the only thing they get. They might get 10,000 subscribers in a short period of time, and then they all go away.
Yeah, but what's bad about that is nowadays the way they set up their program, or their monetization program. If you just make one video and it goes viral, you don't get paid for that because you don't have the subscribers. So yeah, you have to get all the way up to 1,000 subscribers before they even. And nobody's going to subscribe to a channel that only has one video on it. So they lost their opportunity to make $100,000 maybe.
Yeah. So Z71 GMC 48 asks, what type of work do you prefer, lifting heavy tanks short distances or stretching out the crane to lifting an HVAC units 200 feet? Okay. The stuff that I dislike is real heavy weight up high. And the reason why, and I use real heavy weight relatively, because as your boom length and your radius and stuff increases, then your capacity decreases. So like when I was stacking out that big cell phone tower, my capacity was 5,200 pounds. The piece weighed, or my total load was about 4,500. So I was almost at capacity. And then by the time you hoist that 300 plus feet in the air, if something starts happening, you got no out. You're done. You're married to it. Where when you're doing heavy stuff low to the ground, you've got an escape route. If something starts happening, you can generally set it down pretty quick. So hope that answers the question on that.
Oh, yeah. First time I've ever seen you when you picked that frame up out of the ground, you said you got to set it back down or touch it down to keep from bouncing around.
Yeah, just keeps it from shock loading the crane.
Yeah. Mr. Tharp, yes, YouTube actually can be a business, and I think the threshold is $800 for anything you do, to where it has to be a taxed deal.
Yeah, Wayne asked, then the travel to Wade's in Texas could be a write-off. Yeah, everything that I've purchased for this channel is going to be written off. My trips are written off. We'll see what happens. So John Warren asked, he said, good evening, who's the guest? It is Randy with G4 Outdoors. Tyson Dykes, how are you doing, Tyson? He says, hola, mi amigo. Tyson Dykes is a crane operator out on the West Coast and operates a Tenano 160G-5, which is almost the same as the 180 that I operate. So Soldier of Dirt, how are you doing? Diecast Nathaniel's from New Zealand. Let's see, trying to get caught back up again. Drew Bradley asks a good question. He says, heaven forbid, who do they upright a crane that fell over? Typical misuse, of course. So I'm wondering, like, how do they upright a crane? Is that what you're asking on that? If you can clarify, I'll answer that for you.
Going good over here, Jeff. Thanks for asking.
Okay, so Anthony Woodfin asks, new video show picking a lift site, setting up outriggers, figuring out your radius, and setting up your computer. That would be a pretty lengthy video. That whole process takes about 35, 40 minutes. I mean, I could cut it up and whatnot, I guess, but a lot of it, some sites, I'd go preview them beforehand, and I'll try to get some footage of that. But I'll probably, Anthony, I'll get to that. I actually have some videos setting up the outriggers and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't think you do enough of that. And when you're done with your videos, there's times where I think, man, I wish you would have shown all the sections going down or something.
Okay, I can do that. I mean, all that information, all that feedback helps a lot, because it's like anything else that we all do every day. I take it for granted. So
right.
You know, what you guys might think is neat, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I got to do this again. So, okay, so Drew, he clarifies, says, when the cranes crash and the book is laying on its side in the dirt, and the boom is laying on its side in the dirt, do they cut the crane up? Depends on the situation. I've seen some that like tip over into a building. They can stand them back up, go through the reinspection process, and put them back into service. I've seen some that were spread out over an area the size of a football field for reassembly to figure out why it went over. Sometimes they just cut them apart. So it just depends on how bad they're damaged. I've got pictures of a Liebherr 11200 that was on a wind farm nearby us that they broke the boom off. Well, the carrier was fine, so they put a new boom in it.
I don't know why Jimmy's Tractor wants to know if I've ever used a stump grinder. I actually own a stump grinder. It's a steel model. Little homeowner. I mean, it's actually a chainsaw. I just go straight through the stump and into the dirt and everything.
Jimmy's Tractor's asking because he's got one now.
Oh, where's he live?
Florida.
Smithville? Dang.
Florida. GMC 48, do I ever disassemble and assemble tower cranes? I haven't had to yet, because the area we're in that we service, we don't have a lot of high-rise structures, so there's not a lot of tower crane stuff. Now in Kansas City, an hour south, they've got quite a few, but the companies that own them down there also have big hydraulic cranes, so they do their own assembly, disassembly. Oh, Tyson Dykes is having trouble with his crane. Says, do you run into issues with your swing accumulators? Mine's been charged and recharged, still bleeds off during road travel. you probably have a torn bladder inside the accumulator and you need to take it off and rebuild it. So those accumulators actually have a bladder that you can take that accumulator apart and put a new bladder in it. I haven't had that issue with our 180, but our 100-ton, we had to put, actually we didn't put a bladder in it. We just bought an accumulator and replaced the accumulator, but it was bleeding off. So
someone asked, what's my favorite EDC pistol? I've tried for many years to try and find the perfect one. And
I'll answer for you. It's a Kimber Ultra Carry 2.
I just can't get away from it. It's, even though it's bigger and heavier, you know, I've got the Shield, I've got a Glock 43 or 42, I don't know which one. And I've had a SIG P938. Even though all of those are smaller, I still prefer to carry my Kimber officer's model.
Jimmy's Tractor, if you could just go ahead and get rid of Drake Long, that would be awesome, because we don't put up with that kind of crap here. Sorry for interrupting you there.
I'm gonna have to.
We had an idiot pop in.
I see. I had to go look at it.
Yeah. Oh, Jason's Works a Lot's on. Just saw that. Because he got to old Drake Long pretty quick, too. Yeah, Barry Hansen says Stump Jump has a video changing the bladder. He absolutely does. Let's see. Drew Bradley says, do the tires on the AT type crane? They typically wear evenly, but if you have one axle that's a little bit out of alignment, it'll eat the tires alive. James Bergeron says, I'm surprised how fast the crane can swing around. I've got it turned down to 60% in the computer. If I turned up to 100%, I can make it swing so fast that the hook is about 30 feet out from underneath the tip of the boom. Katie Wilson, how are you doing? Thanks for getting rid of that idiot Jimmy's Tractor.
Miss Fieden.
What? Oh, there she is. I was scrolling down through comments. Well, hi, Mom.
Diecast Nathaniel, he's wanting to start a YouTube channel. The only thing I can say is start.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Definitely have to start somewhere. And really be patient with it, because it's a marathon. You're not going to sprint.
It's not an overnight success for sure.
No, not at all.
I'm
going back up through comments. I'm trying to get to everybody, but it's going to be almost impossible.
Alex from OP, how you doing?
Rambozo Clown, how are you doing, Rambozo Clown? We're getting a lot of people just jumping in. And okay, I'm going to have to say it now. Sorry if I miss anybody. Jason Works a lot. Lemon chicken asparagus. I had to start a diet. No vodkas. Work tonight. That's no good. Soldier of Dirt's been on YouTube since 2012. He said it's not easy. It is not easy.
No, I started my other channel. It doesn't even matter what it is. It's just stuff for me, stuff to share with people. But I think I've got 400 subscribers. I don't know how, because it's worthless content. But that's been since 2009. And I think in 9 years, I made $42. But that was before they changed. You had to have 1,000 subscribers. And then I started this channel. I think it took close to a year for me to get 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, on G4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you started this channel, 2016, I think.
Was it at the same time as you? Or no, you did yours after mine.
I've been doing it for not quite a year. It'll be a year, February 3rd. West Coast logging. Alex, how are you doing, Alex? Tyson Dykes, your crane and mine run differently. My swings are cranked up to the max. You don't swing fast enough. When you set iron one piece at a time, you never swing fast enough. Need more power. I've typically, if I'm setting iron or trusses, I haven't had to set trusses with that big crane. But if I was setting iron with it, or when I am setting iron with it, I turn swing all the way up. It depends on the crew that I'm working with, but if the crew can catch it, I will run pretty quickly. How you doing? Digging okay, Frank?
The apostrophe is too close to the enter.
For what?
For commenting.
Oh. J80 says just buy a backhoe and all the haters will tell you to go get a mini. Yeah, I mean, a backhoe still has its place, and when you've got skills like Frank, I mean, it's not really a reason to get a mini, other than maybe putting your spoils behind you. But Frank's probably got a way of doing that. James Berger on. He says he's not rushing his channel. The key with rowing too, I think, with YouTube is if you post it twice a week, it really helps a lot, because the more content you have out, the more chances there are for people to find you. So, oh yeah, Jimmy's tractor had this. Well, actually, Katie had this happen. He said it's a pain when you've been a YouTuber for 12 years and 6 million views, and they get rid of you for no good reason. He sent me a picture of the the email they sent to him. They, for some reason, they kicked her out of the partner program.
Really?
Yeah. She's had a channel for 12 years, got 6 million views on her channel, and there's no political, no copyright violations, none of that stuff. And for some reason, they dumped her out of the partner program.
She have enough subs?
4,000 something.
That is strange. I have a friend, Plemons Lawn Care. He reached. Waiting? Yeah, he's still waiting.
Oh my gosh.
They declined him the first time when he had double of, well, not the subs. He had like 1,500 subs, but he was well in the clear, but they denied him. He's still waiting on it, but he's still pushing through, and that's the key point to it. You will get discouraged for sure, but just keep on chugging. Keep doing what you want to do. Keep doing what you're doing if you like doing it. I mean, if you like doing it, you like doing it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's a fun hobby. There's a lot worse things I could be doing with my time for sure.
Barry, yeah, I did see. I didn't bother reading into it too much about the driverless trains. I don't think that it's something that the U.S. is actually going to let fly. I really don't. Actually, the two-man crew is being pushed through Congress right now. So once that gets pushed through, the driverless trains are going to be obsolete. We're running on PTC right now, which is positive train control, which it pretty much takes all the safety out of our hands. Kind of, sort of. It won't let you buy a red light. That's all it is to it. But as far as a one-man crew up on the train, it's going through Congress, and once it passes, it's not going to be done. There's always going to be two guys up on the head end. There's no getting around that safety.
MS Logging's in the house. How are you doing, MS Logging? And Brandon with Elite Earthworks. How are you doing, Brandon?
Oh, Brandon's here. I'm out.
He said, evening, fellas. Now Randy's leaving. Fireman asked what railroad you work for.
I work for Union Pacific conductor.
NERM says where the speed limit is 25, so don't have to do PTC in your area.
I think that's pretty close to our average velocity is 22.
The Tadano goes faster than that. Unless I get to a hill. Hills are not the crane's friend. That hill in Platte City, 18 miles an hour at the top of it.
Right at Platte City?
Yeah, the one where if you're heading south, you cross over the Platte River and then you're pulling that hill.
That hill is surprisingly steep.
It is.
I still don't realize how steep it is. But I know that every time I come around the 50 corner around Tracy and then start straight south to Platte City, I know to get in the left lane because all the truckers are just lined up. Sometimes they even have their flashers on.
Yeah, I get passed by semis on that hill.
Oh, wow. Fireman's a conductor engineer. They call that a groundhog. Or he's a hoghead, whichever one. Cutback engineer's a groundhog.
Yeah. J80 asked if Union Pacific is union. They are indeed.
Yeah. Yep. Not allowed to be a conductor or... Yeah, you have to be a member of our union.
Tyson Dyke says Tadano plus grades plus gravity equals slow go and lots of one-sided windshield conversations. That's true. Digging OK's backhoe does 25. His backhoe's outrunning your train, Randy. J80 wants you to shout out your local.
939, 933.
You didn't know your local. You've been there, what, 12 years? 14 years?
I only got the last number wrong. I corrected it before I said it.
All right. Diecast Nathaniel asked, Liebherr or Caterpillar? Well, Caterpillar doesn't make cranes, and I'm a crane guy, so I'm going to say Liebherr on cranes versus Caterpillar. But as far as dirt equipment, I would probably take a Caterpillar. Jason Helsley, what did he post? U.S. will let Domino's use a driverless delivery car, but not let you use a driverless crane. Oh, he said train.
Yeah. I do believe so.
Honestly, I don't think it's a good idea to have a driverless train. Even though they're on tracks, there's still the human element that needs to be involved with, what if someone's walking across the tracks? Well, I guess even if the engineer's in there, there's nothing they can do about it except for lay on the horn.
If something's running across the tracks, it's, we hit animals every trip, but if there's going to be a sensor on the front of those trains that realizes that you hit something, it's not going to realize whether it was a branch that was laying across that didn't affect anything, a squirrel, a rabbit, a deer, a cow, or a person. It's not going to know the difference between which one it hit. So it's going to stop every single time it senses something. And that's just going to shut the railroad down because possums, they walk on top of the rail straight towards the train. And if you've killed one possum, you have completely eliminated the entire family because you hit one, it dies, it lays in between the rails. Well, its brother comes along and starts eating it. And they just stare at the train. They just stare at you while you come and they're dead. Brother comes along, eats him. The whole family's gone once one of them dies. So, yeah, they'll shut the railroad down if they put sensors on it for some of that.
Yeah, you sent me a picture a long time ago. That bobcat wadded up in the knuckle.
Yeah.
And then when I was car topping back in the day, we were running down the line to get to where we were going to unload ties, and we hit a cow.
How fast were you going?
About 50.
Did he stay under the train?
No, yes, and no.
You would know.
It looked like you hit a water balloon full of blood on the front of the train. I mean, it sprayed up on the windshield.
Yeah, that's a vision, a feeling, and a sound that you will never, ever forget. Cows are That's a tremendous amount of meat just being rolled up underneath the train.
Tyson Dykes, interesting possum intel we're getting here. You never know what you're going to learn on To the Top Crane. I mean, who knows? Speaking of learning, I've got some more footage from like last week when I did the video sitting down here where I was explaining some stuff. I got a lot of questions when I was reeving the block, showing how we reeve the block and stuff on my dry erase board. And I got some questions. So I've got another video down here explaining what boom sections we use and what boom mode, like how we configure the boom to make certain picks. Is that something you guys want me to throw up there? I'm probably going to do it anyway, but that video didn't do too bad. I think 12 or 1,500 views or something when I posted it.
John Avery, do I ever push a plow with a train? As far as a snow plow, no, we don't live in the proper area to even have those down here. We do have jet blowers to clean switches out and whatnot. Jimmy's tractor, no cow catchers. Yeah, we do have cow catchers, but they're legally only supposed to be off the ground about yay far. So if you can imagine a cow slipping under this with 200 ton on top of him, he's getting sucked in and chewed up.
Soldier Dirt says the boom telescopic video was really informative. That was one of my first videos too. You had to go way back in the old To the Top Crane library to get to that one. Matthew Anderson, in your opinion, what would you say is the most interesting crane job I've done? And I haven't had to do any tree work with the big crane yet. I'm sure the time's coming, but I've done tree work with smaller cranes, and I am not a fan. Not a fan of tree work. Most interesting job, I don't know. It all kind of runs in together. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that.
John Avery, yes, they are. They are turbine aircraft engines. So, yeah.
I need one of those.
James Berger has watched every To the Top Crane video. I'm sorry.
It's Randy's fault. All of this To the Top Crane stuff is Randy's fault. He's the one that talked me into doing it. He actually named the channel. Randy came up with the channel name. And we were on the phone and you were just throwing stuff out, like throwing stuff at the wall, and that kind of stuck with me, so I used it.
Yeah, you did your own logo though. It's become its thing.
Yeah, actually, my brother's wife did the logo, and then I animated it for my intro and outros. But
Southern Triple X in Southern Ontario, I'm sure you do have a lot of plowing to do up there, and that's where a lot of the money comes in for rail engineers and conductors, because you get up there, you're running 100 miles out into nowhere, and you run into, oh my gosh, 15 feet of snow. You're stuck there for days, and you think about just sitting there. I mean, you have to bring a whole bunch of food with you, but you're just sitting in a seat, and they're throwing quarters at you just every minute. They're just throwing money at you. I wouldn't want to do it, but I'd like to have the money. How fast can a train legally run on open track in the United States? 70 miles an hour. Basically, how fast can you run in open country, not going through towns or crossings? I think 70 is the speed limit in the States.
Yeah, there's talk of them doing some high-speed rail some places in the country. I don't know. I mean, I think they probably should.
Passenger trains can go faster, but I don't think that they're allowed to. Like you see CSX, UP, BN, any of those trains, they're limited to 70 miles an hour. But the passenger trains, there's no limit. They do whatever they can do.
Jason Works a Lot would be a good one to answer that. He is a mechanic, I think, at Amtrak.
Jason is?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Actually, I think he's the boss there. I think he runs the shop or something.
Yeah, he said 70.
Yeah. Jason Workslot said we're running 135, 165 miles an hour. Not sure what all that's on. Good Lord, I've been commenting down here. Oh, my mom's going to bail. Well, have a good night, Mom.
See ya.
Let us know when to have more pics. I've got some more night work coming up Tuesday and Wednesday. So
yeah, I sold all my vinyl stuff, so good luck on that stuff.
Yeah, that night work video stuff didn't do as well as what I figured it would because it's too hard to see. But I do have more night work coming up Tuesday and Wednesday. Back in the same place. But I'm not using the jib. We're making a 170-foot radius pick with 197 feet of boom. So I'm going to have it laid down pretty flat.
Sandy says Amtrak can hit up to 150 in the Northeast Corridor. I didn't know that. I thought that was just the states, but I know that any of the railroad, I don't know, the big engines that we haul freight with, those are limited to 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, so Jason Workslot says the project division is under replacing infrastructure for higher speeds. Diecast Nathaniel, let's see, asking Terex or Liebherr what, cranes? I mean, they all are pretty equivalent to one another anymore. I mean, it's kind of like Ford, Chevy, or Dodge. It's which do you like? So.
Who's echoing?
He's talking about Jason Works a lot. Sometimes echoes on their live stream. So hopefully we're not echoing. This is the first time I've done a guest live stream without using earbuds. So hopefully the audio is working out all right. I would say if it wasn't, people would have already brought it to our attention.
Oh, yeah, they scream quickly.
Yeah, we're 47 minutes into it. So Triple X is rubber tired hydraulic crane with mounted high rail gear to run on rails with no outriggers. That would be kind of spooky. I would imagine those do a lot of tipping. Oh, yeah. Looks like our audio is good. Elite Earthworks. If you don't have an echo, you're not doing it right. I mean, I can add one. I can turn off the echo cancellation stuff on my microphone. We can add an echo, but I'd probably have to add a Russian accent to get it right. MSL giving Jason a hard time. I'm still trying to figure out what we got coming up. I don't think we've got a whole lot coming up at work. So we'll probably start getting some footage of some more in-depth systems on the crane, like crawling underneath it and some drivetrain video and all that good stuff.
What about dismantling the river dock? Have you done that yet, or?
Yeah, it's done.
You didn't show a video of you taking that out.
Forgot my cameras that day.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, realistically, taking the dock out, if you want to watch that, you can just go to the one where I was putting the dock in the river and I mean, it's the same thing. That's why I wasn't overly concerned about forgetting the cameras. So let's see. But that's something I'll probably do. I'll probably wheel underneath the old Tadano with a flashlight and the camera, and we'll show everybody the subsystems underneath it, gearboxes and drivetrain, and you can actually crawl up inside the carrier underneath the ring gear and look at the bottom side of the turntable and the swivel in the center for the electronics between the crane and the carrier and all that good stuff. So Chris Beck, hey Jimmy, can I come power wash the underbelly? If you want to come wash the bottom of the crane, that's fine. I'm waiting for it to rain again, and it'll wash itself when I go down the road. Now, at some point, I do need to give it a bath. Triple X asks, is crane operator certificate valid in other states or jurisdictions? My crane certification works anywhere except for some of the places that, like New York City, they've got standards on, they've got their own crane licensing program and all that good stuff. Cut and clean TV's on. How you doing, Andy?
Cut and clean TV.
Tyson Dykes, crawl inside the boom, not to teach us anything. I just want to see you squeeze in there. I've been inside of it. I can climb inside the boom of the Tadano. It is a squeeze getting through that little oval hole in the top of it, but I can get in it. All that's in there is the telescope cylinder and boom pins, which if you guys want footage of it, I'll do it next time I grease it. Rogue Excavating, how are you doing?
Diecast Nathaniel, head on over to G4 Outdoors and hit that subscribe button too.
Let's see, what other footage can I get? What else do you guys want to see that pertains to different systems on the crane that I haven't covered? Do you guys really want to see me get inside the crane boom? James Bergeron says he'll watch anything I put out. Well, thanks, James.
There was a video of yours I skipped over last time because I think that it was just a video of the computer.
Oh, yeah.
Is that all it was?
Yeah, because I was in a facility that they didn't allow recording outside the crane. And, you know, there's people that wanted to see it, so. Drew Bradley tire rotation. Believe it or not, we do rotate the tires on the crane.
How often?
Not very often. About once a year, once every 2 years.
How old are those tires, do you think?
They're original equipment. They were put on it when it was built. Triple X, will I attend Con Expo in Vegas? I will be at Con Expo in Vegas. March 10th through the 14th, 2020. So.
Why not this year?
They don't do it every year.
Oh.
It's a pretty big event. There is just hundreds upon hundreds of pieces of machinery there. But yes, we will do some walk-around video. When I get to Con Expo, we'll do some walk-around video. We'll probably do some live stream from Con Expo. I will probably do some live stream from Texas the weekend of the 18th and let you guys in on a little sneak peek of what we got going on for the second channel. But I still won't tell everybody what's going to happen with that. The second channel is a secret to all but a few.
Before you missed this one, Tyson Dykes, lift adjuster, friction coefficient, walking on rubber with max counterweight, balancing the crane. Oh, man, so many ideas.
Oh, yeah. Lift adjuster, that's a cool function, but I don't use it. Friction coefficient, I mean, that's going to take we're going to have the book out for friction coefficient. Walking on rubber with max counterweight, that is a tricky deal. And Tyson just had to do that not long ago with his 160. And it's one of those that makes you question whether or not you should be doing it, but it tells you how to do it in the manual.
Thank you, Diecast. Appreciate it.
Rogue Excavating said he'll see me at Con Expo.
Every 3 years from Soldier.
Yep. Yeah, millions of square feet of machines. That's a fact. David Rigoni asked how many miles are on the crane. I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
That joke kind of took off.
What's that?
Took off pretty quick. Is the big coochie here?
Oh, that's Elite's wife. Yeah, when we rotate tires, I'll get some footage of that. That's a job, man. Those things are heavy, and we don't take the wheels off the crane to do it. We just pull the tires off the wheels, leave the wheels on the crane.
I have shot a couple of Ithaca shotguns.
And Sandy says crane can't have that many miles on it. Doesn't go all that fast.
Oh yeah, there was an earlier question. Do your tires get old before they wear out?
Sometimes. I mean, generally they get tore up before they get wore out. But some of the places that we get into with those cranes, there's debris and whatnot. We try to look for as much of it as we can. And knock on wood, I haven't run anything through a tire on it yet, but it does occasionally happen. Tyson Dyke says he's never been to Con Expo. Seems like a great visit. Is it more for companies or is there a place for random Joe like myself? Don't want to get roped into buying a D9 or something. I've never been to Con Expo, but from what I've seen, anybody would enjoy going to it. Anybody that's interested in that stuff.
Is that the one that Let's Dig would have balanced his excavator on one track and popped balloons or something?
Oh, I don't know that they do that there, but
that was in Vegas.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know what all they do.
Yeah, each company had their own setup and choreographed dances with backhoes and stuff.
Oh, Sandy says that was Expo. JDS, or repairs allowed on crane tires. If plugging it is out of the question, you'd never get a plug reamer ran through that tire. I don't remember how many ply tire it is, but I think it's like a load range G or something. Actually, I think it's even heavier than that. Maybe 23 ply tire or something. But you can patch them. Nerm asks how many operators operate the crane you use in most of your videos. I'm the only one that operates it. Earl Regular asked if the windows are tinted. Just the factory solar tint that's on them. I need to do that. I'm going to do that before next summer, tint the glass. Dalton Feeks, what's the tire size of the crane? They're 525 ADR 25, I think. Big. I think they're right around 1,000 pounds a piece.
Just in rubber?
Just the rubber part. Diecast Nathaniel asked, "What my daily driver is a 2014 Crew Cab Ram 2500."
Before you pass it up, not that you want to, but can you run highway? Can you run highway with one of the two tires flat, like mill spec requirements?
No, it would destroy the tire. It'll disintegrate. There's too much weight on each axle to run down the road with a tire flat. Unless you're talking about on the boom dolly where there's duals, which even those, they wouldn't stay together. Mil spec, the military's got a whole lot different standards when they're on the road.
It's a good idea, Chris.
What's that?
He wonders, does anyone make window tint that changes with the light, like sunglasses?
Oh, like my glasses. That would be a pretty cool idea. J80 says tire that thick holds a lot of heat. Run flat would destroy it. They would come apart. And the company I worked for before where I'm at, they've got a Grove 5240, which is 240 ton. And I was working as an oiler for them, and he blew a right rear tire, one of the big ones. It's the same size tires that's on the crane I operate. And we had to change it on the side of the road. Tyson Dykes, when you're spending taxpayer dollars and not company profits, you tend to do more cowboying. Yeah, Andy B says dark tint would suck at night. And what I'm going to put on it is mirror tint and like 50% because it blocks a lot of the sunlight, but you can still see out of it pretty well. David Rigoni, do you have to run permits to run down the road? I have to run permits if we leave our commercial zone.
And what is that?
What's that?
And what is that?
Just the area of our local municipality. Like if I have to get out on the interstate for anything, if I have to get on like I-29, 36 highway, 229, any state maintained roads, I have to have permits.
So you can run the back road all the way down to Fawcett?
No, that's a state maintained highway.
All right.
Diecast Nathaniel asks what my income is. I'm probably not going to talk about that. It's adequate. That's the best way I can explain it. GMC 48S, how do you decide whether to drive with the boom over the cab or use the boom dolly? Again, if I've got to get on the highway for anything, I've got to have it on the dolly for bridge laws. I only travel with it over the front inside of our local city. James Berger on that, it'd be fun to change a crane tire on the side of the road. The plus side to that is it's got built-in jacks.
Oh,
so it's not like you got to slide a floor jack out and jack it up. But
would one have to be brought out to you, or does that carry a spare somewhere?
No, they'd have to bring one out.
I guess you got everything there to do it.
What's that? Change the tire?
Yeah.
Typically, you just drag them out of the back of a truck and roll them over to it. And then, raise or lower your outrigger to line up your hub, drag the old one off, and slap the new one on. Diecast Nathaniel says, I don't know what the pay of America is since I'm from New Zealand. W Pro 3, what grade chains you lifting with? Any plans to upgrade to 120? I avoid using chains as much as possible, with exception of our foundry hooks that we've got. They're on some chains, but I think those are 120. Sandy says, who keeps a tire that big in stock? We keep about 6 of them. So we keep between 4 and 6 of those tires on hand. Andy B, get someone with a crane to pick it up. I'm hoping I don't ever blow one going down the road. Tom Adolph asks, what's the heaviest pick I've made? 179,000-pound gas turbine generator. Sandy says that makes sense. What's the lead time of getting one ordered? It just depends. Really depends on the time of year. Those tires, they're also like big, heavy scraper tires. So, a lot of times you can have them in 1 or 2 days, but we just keep a few on hand just in case. Nermess, what's the cost of one of those tires? It depends on the brand you go with, but typically between $3,000 and $5,000.
I think James asked how much you make. According to Google, it's 55 to 84 US dollars.
Who asked?
I think, so I don't know, someone asked how much you made.
Diecast Nathaniel.
Diecast, all right.
What Google say?
55 to 84.
Google's wrong. I guess it depends on where you're at and how hard you hit it. I know crane operators that make over $200,000 a year, but they're never home, ever.
Payscale.com says 35 to 97 with a potential for bonuses.
Bozo Clown says more than you need, but less than you want. That's a good way of putting it. David Regoni says, I heard about someone that got in trouble for having a block unreeved because it was a divisible load. I mean, I could see that, but my argument with DOT on that would be is everything is kind of a divisible load. I mean, how far apart do you want to take it?
Good night, Tyson. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in, Tyson. Keep the dirty side down, brother. If you need anything, let me know. Tyson Texas, Google, definitely not correct. Drew Bradley, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I mean, realistically, what's a crane operator make? I would say that you could make as little as 35,000, depending on where you're at, and you could make as much as a couple 100,000. I mean, it depends on how much you want to work, where you're working, all of that good stuff. Diecast Nathaniel asks, is getting to become a crane operator hard? There's a lot to know. It's a 4 or 5 year adventure before you even start getting in the seat. So it's not like you're just going to go to a company and say, hey, I want to be a crane operator. And then they say, well, there's the crane, go get in it. It doesn't happen. So if you're thinking about doing it, be prepared. Sandy says, I think the news said they were making like 150 to 175 an hour to run them. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Oh, yeah. Tower operators in Florida. I don't know. By the time you put your per diem in there, their total benefits package, if their union have a benefits package and whatnot, they might be getting close to 100. But I don't know that I've seen. I mean, I'm not a tower crane operator, but for $175 an hour, I'd consider it. Jay Chris Beck, I don't watch the news. Most of it's fake. Anthony Woodfin says, more to it than you think, at least more than I thought. It is a tough road. I mean, if you're, like Jimmy's Tractor said, it's probably like flying a plane. If you're contemplating becoming a crane operator, it's the amount of knowledge that you got to cram into your head, and then the time it takes is probably pretty close to being a pilot. Andy B, does your company ever bid a job or just by the hour? It just depends. Some jobs we bid them. Some jobs are by the hour. Randy's being awfully quiet over there. He's just reading away.
Yeah, a lot of reading.
Are you still on Google?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what it takes to become a crane operator?
Oh, that Google. No.
Oh. Oh, Jason Helsley, how would you do with the height since you're at least 200 to 300 feet off the ground? Oh, with being a tower operator? It wouldn't be so much being the 200 or 300 feet off the ground. It's getting myself up that 200 to 300 feet off the ground. I don't like a 40-foot extension ladder.
Yeah, right. Question has gone by. On the railroad, we have, on the railway, we have specific radio procedures. Is it the same with your ground guy, or is it all gangster slang? Lol.
Oh, no, it's pretty much universal signaling. Boom down, boom up, cable down, cable up, boom down, hold your load. Boom up, hold your load. Swing left, swing right. I mean,
talk dirty. Good grief.
Huh?
Talk dirty.
I mean, talk dirty. That's what it consists of.
We hump pigs.
What?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, cars. It's awfully quiet at your house tonight too. What'd you do with the dogs? Lock them up?
No, they're napping. When Mama's not home, they're lazy.
W Pro 3 says, just want to thank you for your videos. I'm a newer RT operator, and your videos are a great resource. Well, thank you for that. If there's something in particular you want to see or want to know about, let me know, and I will try to make a video for you. You still got something chirping in your background, Randy. You need to put batteries in your smoke detector.
For a long time.
Are you going to wait for your house to burn down so you can reach it, or what?
I wish it would burn down, but it won't, because I'm only 5 houses away from the fire department.
Oh, yeah. You're out of luck. I just figured you were waiting for the house to catch on fire so the ceiling would be low enough for you to reach the smoke detector.
Right. There is. Yep. And that's the one it is. It's a 18 foot down in the utility room.
It's 18 feet high?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put batteries in it either.
Yeah, I got to get the big ladder out of the garage, walk it all the way around the house. I'm making it sound so hard, ain't I?
Yeah. Or you could just sit down there and shoot it with a pellet gun until it quits chirping. Jason Helsley says, change your clocks, change your batteries.
Easier said than done. No, it's not. It's just...
Bozo Clown sounds like a shotgun job. That'd do it. Andy B says, do a video on changing the battery. That would be a funny one, since you got to drag your ladder out and go through all the work. You should do a video on that. I mean, why not? I've done some videos on my channel I thought weren't going to go over very good, and they actually did pretty decent. I throw the occasional truck video in there.
I just need to do videos. I haven't been inspired to do anything.
Well, you're the one that forced me into this YouTube thing, so you better get busy, Randall.
You've got constant content.
So do you. Yours is about outdoors. Go outside and record something.
I don't like the cold.
Record it out your window. Drive around your truck and record stuff.
Fall and make it viral. I can do that. I need to get Aflac back, though.
I mean,
accident insurance.
You're an outdoor channel, and you say that I have free access to content. Not really. I've got a crane channel, and we don't do crane work every day, but you always have the outdoors available to you.
Shut up. On the crane, how many batteries does the crane have?
4. 2 in the lower, 2 in the upper. Andy B, go outside and get a ladder. I mean, really, did I inspire you? No. Are you going to suck the bottom off that vape there, or what?
Squirrel season's still open, and I don't know why I haven't got out and done any squirrel hunting yet. That's something I didn't do at all last year.
Anthony Woodfin says he's starting on a 6010 RT hopefully next week. Go to sign paperwork tomorrow. Videos are definitely helpful. Here's the advice on if you're new to operate an RT, once you get it set up and level, don't touch your outrigger switches unless you are going back to re-level. Because I've seen guys almost turn them over because they'll go to pick something and then they'll freak out because it's starting to deflect and starting to lean, and they'll reach down and hit their outrigger button to try to compensate for it and run their outrigger jack the wrong way and almost turn over.
Hmm.
So the RTs, they tend to move around a little bit on their jacks just by design, and they have a little more movement in them, kind of like a boom truck. Once do your setup, trust your setup, get on some good mats, and as long as you trust your setup and you get level when you're making your pick, don't mess with your outriggers. Don't jack with them until you go back to the same position you were in. Typically boom over the front or over the rear and re-level if you need to after you make your pick. Or if you're starting to shove your outriggers into the ground, set down whatever you're picking and get readjusted. But don't touch your outrigger switches with a load on the hook or boom out.
Sandy, I would love to record my job. There's a lot of people that would watch that. Rail fans everywhere, foamers. Yeah, but it's illegal, so I can't do that. And Jason, yes, I do like eating squirrel. I really do. It's not a delicacy like I need to eat it. It's kind of a pain in the butt to clean them and cook them and eat them because there's so little amount of meat on there and whatnot. Chris Beck, 17 HMR is what I do all my small game hunting with. I prefer it over 22s all day long.
So, Randy, do you know why there's such a small amount of meat on a squirrel?
Because they're small?
Because it's a rat that lives in a tree.
They're good rats, dude.
I grew up eating squirrels. I'm glad that I don't have to eat squirrels anymore.
They don't taste bad. It's just meat.
You know what it tastes like?
Better than deer.
Tree rats.
Better than deer. Tastes like chicken.
Soldier Dirt's got to head out. Thanks for stopping in, Soldier Dirt. Noah, Tom, how are you doing? Sandy, what squirrel tastes like? It tastes like a squirrel looks. Honestly, they do kind of taste like dark meat chicken, I think.
Yeah, just a pain in the butt to eat.
Yeah, I'm not going to eat a squirrel. I'm not going to eat another rabbit. I'm not going to eat a squirrel ever again because I ate so many of those growing up, and having to hold the back legs of a rabbit while my dad was cleaning them and smelling that. No, it's one of those things that, like, we were at the grocery store and our daughter wanted us to get a box of ramen noodles. And I looked at my wife. I said, I'm glad that we're buying those because she likes them and not because we have to buy them. And it's one of those things. I don't have to eat it. I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to eat a rabbit. I'm not going to eat a squirrel.
Well, that might be why I haven't went out this year, just because I haven't felt like cleaning them or cooking them.
Yeah.
It is a pain.
Noah Tom says, what's the clicking noise in the crane? The clicking is the winch indicator. Lets me know that the winch is turning. J. Chris Beck says, like rabbit, but gamier and smaller.
I don't think it's gamier.
I don't think I'm going to eat one, so it doesn't matter.
My dad
Why eat a squirrel when there's so many other choices out there?
Huh?
Why eat a squirrel when you got so many other choices out there?
Like possum?
Oh, like Kansas City strips and ribeyes and chicken breasts and bacon.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, my dad, he you know where he's at. He shoots 22 quiets out of his garage and picks the squirrels out of his trees.
and eats them.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy says, I know you said the clicks all measure out a certain distance, but what is that distance? And it varies depending on how many parts of line you have reeved and all that good stuff. But it's typically between 1/4 and 3/4 of an inch.
Exactly, Andy. It's the same, but different.
Yeah. Jason Helsley said he's got a freezer full of deer and wild turkey. If I had a freezer full of wild turkey, it wouldn't freeze.
That's right.
Because it'd be the kind that goes in the glass.
Jimmy's tractor, I'll never know.
It's possum gamey. Yeah, I've never eaten possum. I've eaten raccoon before.
That and vultures, nature's garbage disposals there.
Yeah. I've eaten raccoon. I've eaten black bear, deer.
Where'd you have bear from?
Up in Amazonia a long time ago.
Do you remember how it was?
Greasy.
Huh.
And not real good. It was in a crock pot with barbecue sauce. And I think that's the only way you could eat it, just with barbecue sauce. But I wasn't a big fan of it.
I think elk, as far as game, elk is the best meat that I've ever had.
Oh, Tom, he's from Hawaii. There's none of that there. Diecast Nathaniel, come to New Zealand, you can kill possums all day long or all year round. Yeah, I've never eaten a possum. See, this channel is weird because we can talk about anything on here. You never know where it's going to go. As long as it's family friendly. Sandy says there's a butcher shop down there that sells bison meat. That's some good. That is good. Gator's good. Gator tastes like old chicken. I've had rattlesnake before too, and it wasn't cooked right or something. It was like chewing on a piece of leather. I wasn't a fan.
It's been a long, long time ago. I've had rattlesnake. I remember liking it, but I don't remember.
No, Tom. Haha, Crane Channel talking about squirrels. You just never know where it's going to go. And I just kind of roll with it. Oh, Chris Beck says, believe it or not, there's locals in Delaware that enjoy muskrats. Anyone like those? I don't think I would eat a muskrat.
Why? They're fish eaters.
It's a rat. It's an aquatic rat.
But a big one.
So it's still a rat.
They're not scavengers. They're predators, aren't they?
I don't know. Google it. I figured you would. Barry Hansen, the saying is when cooking possums, throw a stone in while cooking. Once cooked, throw the possum away and eat the stone. And Sandy, that's a true story. Never know where Jason Brand's chats are going to end up either, especially after about 10 p.m. I've had turtle, and turtle isn't bad if it's cooked right. Alex Ekenberger, any more word on meeting up with Ron Pratt? Actually, I've got Ron's phone number now. I need to give him a call. I may see about giving him a call tomorrow and see what he's got going on in his schedule come spring break time. I may swing through there on my way to southern Indiana. Chris Beck says muskrats are vegetarians.
I'm thinking of otters.
Triple X, come to Canada. We have hockey, bacon, back bacon, and 6% beer.
Yeah, I'm thinking of otters.
Yeah, I don't think I would eat an otter either. I don't know.
That's what I smacked in the face at your father-in-law's pond, isn't it?
Yes, that was. James A. Walters, how are you doing? Barry Hansen, that would be cool. Yeah, I'll talk to him and see what he's got going on. Sandy, speaking of Ron, you mentioned you'd do some things different with that drainage box job. What would you have done differently about it? Had the power company drop the power lines, got a bigger crane. No, really, in that video, Ron did everything on his end. I'd say pretty perfectly. I'm not a rotator operator, but I know they're designed to pick up a lot of weight with a low boom angle and long reach. He didn't have any issues with his outriggers or anything sinking into the ground. But the crane on the other side, his outrigger that was closest to the creek was pretty close to the edge of the bank. And it was so close to the edge of the bank that it was actually angled. So his outrigger pad was sitting like this with his outrigger sitting on top of it. And that was the outrigger that was supporting the most weight. So if he would have pulled enough weight off of the other three outriggers, that outrigger pad probably would have slid down the embankment and he probably would have went in the drink.
Was that the crane operator or Ron?
No, it was a crane operator.
All right.
That was the crane on the other side. And I know they were doing what they could with what they had.
Because I was watching Ron's part and he looked fine.
Yeah, Ron was fine.
I wasn't paying attention to the other.
And I'm guessing, I mean, it's pure speculation on the size of that picker. I don't think Ron mentioned how many ton crane it was. But with the boom angle he was at and with how much boom he had stuck out, he was probably close to being at capacity or maybe a little bit out of capacity. And when you're doing a 2-machine pick, the crane has to stay below 75% of capacity. That's a law. So that was another part of it. But, you know, like I said, it's pure speculation. Ron did everything perfectly on his end of it. And the other guys, I mean, they got away with what they did. But to watch that video, it's not something I would put into practice because, like I said, they got away with it. It'd be pretty unfortunate to tip a crane over and Ron have to go around the other side and pull their crane back out with his rotator. So, yeah, Andy B said outriggers wasn't flat. And that is part of the OSHA standard too, is your outrigger pads are supposed to be level. And I get it. I mean, there are times when you can't get them perfectly level without doing a whole bunch of dirt work or pouring a foundation. And there's a calculated risk in everything that we do. You try to mitigate the risks as much as possible. And sometimes you just have to make things happen. And that's the position that they were in, or they would have never called Ron. So I'm not going to sit here and throw rocks at another crane operator for what he was doing. It's just one of those situations that he was in, and they got the job done. Dalton Feeks, how are you doing? Says any work on Mike Rowe? Nothing on Mike Rowe. If I could get all 4,500 of you guys to start emailing Mike Rowe to come hang out with me, that might make a difference, but I don't know. He may just start blocking emails. Yeah, Sandy says he knows Ron was pushing the rotator pretty hard over its weakest lift point. And I don't know what governing bodies Ron would have, being it's a wrecker, but he was using it in a crane application. So I don't know. That would be kind of a gray area, I would think. So I don't know. But I would, after watching Ron do that, I would do a tandem pick with Ron any day. If Ron was in my area and I had to have him on the other end of something, I would not worry about it at all. And there are some times when we're doing 2 crane picks that I will get out and go talk to the other operator before, and I have done it during a 2 crane pick, like set my end down, get out and go over and have a discussion with the person in the other cab. but I wouldn't worry about it with Rom.
No, he's slow and methodical. He doesn't mess up on camera.
I'm guessing Ron doesn't mess up. I can't say he never does. I'm sure every so often he might like rip a bumper or something off of something, but I mean, Ron makes very calculated moves, and I would venture to guess what you see on Ron's videos are what Ron doesn't do a lot of editing. I don't think he cuts pieces and parts out.
Mm-mm.
So you can tell that Ron calculates everything before he does it, and he's good at it. Andy B says, why not hire a bigger crane instead of a rotator? I'm guessing what the situation was is the power company said no way to drop in the power lines. It was probably a feeder line that services a whole bunch of stuff, and the power company said you're out of luck, or they didn't have it or it was going to be way stupid expensive to have the power company drop them, and the builder probably didn't have it in the budget.
James Walters, you just have to search Ron Pratt. That's spelled with an R.
And Sandy or Jimmy's Tractor or somebody, they can, if you guys could throw a link to Ron's channel in here, it'd be awesome. Perfect. But I'm sure that's what the problem was as far as why not hire a bigger crane.
I didn't know you could do that.
What's that?
Throw links in there.
Yeah. If you're a moderator.
Oh, that's why I didn't bother.
So I don't know. It's easy to sit back and watch someone do something on a video and pick it apart. And I get a lot of that on some of mine. But you're not actually there. And
people picking you apart?
Oh, yeah. I've had some people pick some of my stuff apart. Ultimately, I'm not the one, for instance, on that video of Ron's, I wasn't the one sitting in the seat of the crane. I wasn't at their site. I wasn't making the decisions on it. I would have liked to have seen that outrigger pad be flat, being that close to the creek, but it is what it is. They got the job done. Everything went okay. And Ron is as good as they come as far as people go. I mean, I've chatted with him on Messenger some, and great guy. Actually, I sent him my phone number. He sent me his, and I'll give him a call this week sometime and see what he's got going on. See if I can run down where he's at, shoot some video with him.
I'm sure you'd get a ride along.
Yeah, and if he ever came up here, I'd put him in the seat of the crane, let him play with it. Andy B says, Jimmy, thanks for answering video comments so fast. I try to get to everybody on video comments, and it is sometimes difficult. It's gotten to where typically if a video's 24 hours old, I probably am not going to respond to it because this has taken a lot of time away from my family, and I'm starting to get a little feedback from that. So yeah, Sandy said Ron's a class act. Absolutely. Jimmy's Tractor should have used a spreader bar. That was the ones that I got the feedback, most of the feedback on was when I was picking tanks without a spreader bar. But if you Google rigging a tank to lift it with a crane or whatever, I mean, you can use whatever search you want to use. There's a lot of them in there that they don't use spreader bars, and I don't use spreader bars picking tanks. And there's reasons for that. There's reasons for using one, and there's reasons for not using one. And, there it is. But yeah, I got a lot of hate over it. Jimmy's Tractor had to tune some dude up. He went all Einstein on the guy in comments. But my thing with spreader bars, if you don't need to use them, you're just adding more rigging to the pick. You're adding more weight. You're adding more points of failure. So if you don't have to have it, I won't use one. There are picks that we make where you have to have it to keep the slings from crushing whatever you're picking up, or to have multiple points, pick points that you've got to hit. So you got to use spreader bars to divide your pick points up. But my rule of thumb is if I don't need it, I'm not going to use it. If I don't need it to make the pick safely, I'm not going to use it. So why overcomplicate it? Kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid. It's kind of the way I approach it. There it is. Sandy even put in there the KISS principle. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Randy's Googling something, it looks like.
Yeah.
You're looking at when you got to go to work?
Yep.
What's it saying, 2:45?
1:45. 1:30.
Oh. It's getting worse.
It's got to set out in Topeka, so there'll be a while.
Chris Beck says, yes, Andy, my favorite. MO, keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, and I mean, everybody does things a little differently. And a lot of times it doesn't matter how you get to the point, it's get there, Sandy said, could be worse. His brother's working the extra board right now.
Yeah, I will not work the extra board. What a nightmare.
Chris Beck's got to get up at 3:20. I got to be up at 6.
I'll be up at 6.
Yeah, he'd be on a train. Probably run over possums. Taking out little independent possum families. You gonna stop and pick one up and eat it so you can let everybody know on the next time you're on my live stream what it tastes like?
No, we do have a pack of a herd of wild cows that run out in one area of our trip.
Wild cows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful wild cows, black and white.
Would they get out and no one went and round them up or what?
Nobody wants to claim them because they get hit by railroad stuff. And
we'll go out there and round them up. Huh.
Yeah, they're good-looking cows.
Shortline Railways where it's at, home every night, weekends off, early quits. I'm home most every night. I don't necessarily get the early quits. There's been some times we put in some hours. I think I've worked 28 hours straight before.
What?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, thanks. Missouri. Precision railroading. That's funny stuff there.
James Walters has a camera angle request. What's your request, James? I'll see if I can do it.
I think I might have to refresh my YouTube page. Those are coming up way late.
You probably need to refresh those batteries in your smoke detector, too, while you're thinking about it.
They're not beeping at me.
Oh.
They're just beeping at you.
And everybody else that's watching. I've got some footage, too, that I haven't edited where I've got camera set up pointing out the top window and then another camera set up pointing at me and operating the controls, so you can see what's happening both out the front glass and what I'm doing to make it happen. But I haven't edited it because I didn't realize when I was recording that job, it turned into 46 video clips. So that one's going to take a while to edit.
Ugh.
Yeah. 46 video clips, half of which are a different camera angle, but they coincide with together because I hit record on both cameras at the same time. Just one's pointed at me and the other one's pointed at the boom. So I've got to try to match all those up on picture-in-picture or split screen or back and forth and work my way through 46 clips. So yeah, that's going to be a pain to edit. That one's probably going to take, that's probably going to be my all-time worst video editing session. It'll probably be 10 or 12 hours of editing to get that done.
Anthony, have a good night. Thanks for stopping in.
Yes, Anthony, thanks for hanging out with us. Looking forward to the new video setting up the crane. I will, I'll see what I can do. It'll probably be a hard hat camera view, though.
How to change a smoke detector. You're getting me on the right path there, Chris.
D. McDonald, how are you doing, D. McDonald? How's the axe doing? D. McDonald's got the axe hanging on his wall.
Oh, cool.
Mike, hope I don't mess up your last name. Schutler or Shuttler? What percentage of your chart do you consider critical pick? Or as long as you're in your chart, you're good. Most big companies now are considering a critical pick anything over 75%. I start getting nervous when I'm hitting in the 90% range. I can't say I'm not scared of it, but you're really paying attention to every little move you're making. Not saying I'm not attentive all the time, but when you start getting it really loaded, things can happen pretty fast. Andy B said, did the night job get finished? We got finished with that part of it, but I'm going back in Tuesday and Wednesday and doing another phase of the night work. But it'll be all main boom. We're not swinging the jib. I'll have 197 feet of main out, making picks at a 170-foot radius. James Walter, GoPro on a hard hat, and one on the half screen on your second camera on your instrument panel, back to your hands on the joysticks. That's hard to do. And here's why it's hard to get all these different camera angles when I'm doing this stuff. When I'm setting the crane up, I'm on the customer's dime. And when I'm sitting there operating, I can't be mid-pick swinging something 60 or 70 feet in the air and then stop swinging to readjust my camera to point at something different. So the cameras pretty much have to stay where they're at when I'm making a pick or operating the crane. And, I can't tell a customer, hey, hang on a second. I know you're paying $600 or $700 or $800 an hour for this crane, but I'm going to take my GoPro over there 300 feet away and set it up and hit record and come back and start operating or doing whatever, setting the crane up, and then go back and retrieve my camera. And by the time I do that several times, I've cost the customer an hour of their time. So I've got to just keep the job moving, and what footage I can get, I get.
Everybody gets a wrench. You get a wrench. Yeah, Rambozo. When that door opened on that trauma, you could see everything shake. I bet the guys on the ground were more scared than you.
When that hatch popped open.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff, it gets your attention. What gets my attention the most is when the crane starts making noise. And that happens occasionally. like I did a bridge job where I was setting a bridge beam. I reached out and I picked like 79,000 pounds, and my outrigger sunk a couple inches into the ground when I picked it up. And I mean, that does happen occasionally. But what that does is it puts a twist in the carrier. And then I swung it to the other side of the crane and set it. And when I took all that weight off, that twist came out, and the crane shuddered and made a loud enough noise it felt like someone crashed a pickup into the side of it.
Oh man.
It got my attention enough that I got out and started looking at everything and determined that's what it was. I just took the twist out of it. Diecast Nathaniel, I'm going to chastise you just a little bit, but take it as constructive criticism. If you are new to YouTube and you go on to a live stream and just start subbing to people, YouTube is going to flag your account as spam, and they're going to shut your channel down. So you really only want to subscribe to people that you genuinely enjoy their content.
Yeah.
And wish to see it again in the future and see more of that subscriber, because and I'm only telling you this to help you out and keep you away, keep the YouTube police off of you. If you go onto a channel and you just start subscribing to everybody, they're going to determine that your account is spam, and they're going to shut your channel down.
Yeah. When I started this channel up, I went over to my other channel and looked at my subscribers and started subscribing to every one of them that I was. And it only let me do it a certain amount of times. It said I had to wait a week before I could sub to any more.
Yeah. And just trying to keep you out of trouble. It's great to support other people, but don't get caught up in that. We're going to go on a little YouTube rant here. Don't get caught up on the sub for sub stuff, because it will do nothing for your channel in the long run. Sure, you'll gain a couple subscribers, but if those subscribers aren't watching your content, then YouTube's going to remove them from your subscriber list anyway. So the best way to gain subscribers is to actively watch content that you enjoy, and then actively engage their audience with good quality comments in the comments section. And that way people see that you're engaged in that kind of stuff, and the channels will recognize you, and that's how your channel will grow. But to jump on to a channel and just start subbing to people, it's going to end up hurting your channel in the long run, and probably in the short term if you do it too much, because YouTube will shut you off.
I'd like for you to run up to Mike Shuttler's question.
Okay. How often do you have ground penetration radar done for setup if you do not have access to plans of existing conditions, primary industrial sites? I have never used ground penetration radar for a setup. We don't have it available to us. I wish since the technology is becoming more and more available, and as the technology is more available, it gets cheaper. I wish crane manufacturers would actually start thinking about incorporating a portable type system in with the cranes when you purchase them. I think it would help a lot in places like Florida, where they tend to have some crane incidents because of sinkholes. But I do a very thorough site inspection when I pull into a site. If there's a manhole nearby, I want to know which direction the pipes that are terminating in the manhole, I want to know where they run. If there's an electrical bus bank nearby, I want to see which way the conduit's running. If there's a dip in the ground, if I'm doing a house job, the first question I ask is, where's the septic tank? All sorts of stuff. I collect as much information as I can on where I'm putting the crane up, even if it's freshwater water lines. I typically want to know where those are at, and generally, those don't affect us because it's typically a small trench. But no ground penetrating radar for us, unfortunately. It's collect as much information as you can and try to mitigate the risk.
Someone wants you to get a drone.
Oh, Jimmy's tractor. You didn't have to send me $2, but I appreciate it. Drone shots. Oh. Okay. You talked me into it. I don't know when it's going to happen, but eventually I'll end up, I will have a drone within the next 2 months. So what is
Really?
it? It's January 5th, January 6th. By March 6th, I'll have a drone. How I'm going to incorporate that, I don't know.
It can only be before and after shots, break times, or a dedicated person there to run it.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but
They're only 15-minute batteries, so you can't do a whole pick with one.
no. That's been my catch 22 on it. Is sure it'd be a great tool to have in the arsenal, but the only way I've come up with that I could do it is, and plus where I live, you're limited in your ceiling height because of the airport that's nearby. Where we typically operate in St. Joe, you can't go over 500 feet with one.
Especially that airport.
Yeah, because it's a military base also. So the only way I've figured out that I could do it is use one that is smarter than a lot of the people that I know and set it up on the trailer before or when we get done setting the crane up. And that's going to be another, hey, Mr. Customer that's forking out a whole bunch of money for this crane. I'm going to go over and put this drone on the trailer. And then I'm going to program that that's its home location. And then I'm going to tell it that it needs to fly circles around me for 15 minutes and then go land back on the trailer and wait for me to come retrieve it. So it's going to be tough. But, and Rambozo Clown says Oiler pilot. I don't know that my boss is going to be real hip on that because he's paying him to be an oiler, not be a pilot for my videos. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can promise you the second channel, there will be drone footage involved.
But you're giving out, can you give out any more hints?
There may be a slow motion camera involved. And there's probably going to be some serious destruction involved. So let's just say we're probably going to do some durability testing on a lot of things. And it might involve a crane.
I just said a couple of hints, not.
That was a couple of hints. Did I go too far?
You're dying to get it out.
No, I'll get it out on the first video. The first video for the second channel. Rambozo Clown, I guess the ultimate solution is you need to have your own crane company. Dalton Foods, I like Dirt Monkey, but better. Like Dirt Monkey, but better. Probably nothing like Dirt Monkey. Mike Schuler, FFA or FAA permit for the crane. I don't have to have an FAA permit for the crane, but anytime we're doing anything near the local airport, I will call the tower and let them know where we're at and how much boom I'm going to have out.
I had to take this picture just for Jimmy. Everybody like that? Come on, I need a laugh.
Jimmy's Tractor says technically you need a license if you make money off of it. It would need to be my unmonetized videos. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy's Tractor's correct.
Yeah. Tyler asked timeline for the second channel. My reason for going to Texas the weekend of January 18th is to hammer out the details on the second channel with my brother.
See what you did there?
So that's it's going to be soon. Probably I'm hoping to have the channel up and going and footage on it February. So we'll see. Jimmy's Tractor. What channel would I compare it to? There isn't one. To my knowledge, there isn't one that I could compare it to. The closest thing may be How Ridiculous. Maybe not. I don't know.
You need to zip it.
All right. Mike Schuler asked, do I flag and light for the airport? If we're close by, I have to run a flag and light for the airport.
For a certain height or just in general?
For a certain height. David Phillips, how are you doing? Sandy, getting the drone license is hardly difficult. Yeah, I've got a crane certification. Surely I can get a drone license. Unless I told them I was going to be flying the drone while operating the crane. That might throw conflicting interest both directions, but no, I can't be messing with a drone while I'm operating the crane. I could maybe get the crane set up and fly around it. So J. Chris Beck said, I'm sure it's going to be a great channel, Jimmy. I'm hoping so. We'll see how it goes. Randy knows what it is. What do you think, Randy?
I think
it'll be good?
Be a smashing hit.
Andy B, back to squirrels. Huh.
I wish I could. I take pictures of all the squirrels that I shoot. I wish I could show them on YouTube. Actually, yeah, if you guys go over to G4 Outdoors, no, it's not. It's on my other channel. I've got some devastating shots of squirrel shots. The 17 HMR is just an amazing round.
Yeah, you made me a believer that day you were at my house. I think it was shortly after you got that 17. And I was like, how accurate is that? And you laid it across the hood of your truck and like, pink. And what was that, a sparrow?
It was something little. It vaporized.
It turned it into a feather pillow, a small little feather pillow. And what was that, about 60 yards, 70 yards?
Well, that's the thing about the 17. It's zeroed at 50, but anything 25 yards to 100 yards is still bullseye. It's minute of squirrel. It's
minute of squirrel. That's funny.
Put it right in his ear. 25 to 100 yards is right on.
David Phillips said he's new to my channel. He likes it so far. Thanks, David Phillips. I'm about as real as they come as far as crane channels go, because I think I'm about one of the only ones on YouTube. I think there's a couple others, but not too many. And I'm surprised that there's not more of them. And I'm actually surprised it's doing as good as it has, because to me, crane work it's like 8 hours of boredom with 15 minutes of excitement thrown in. Sandy said he accidentally hit a squirrel while shooting his granddad's Lee Enfield once. 303 British doesn't leave much squirrel left. Randy, were you out there when I shot that quail with the SKS?
No. If I was, I don't remember.
I was deer hunting several years ago with an SKS, and I put a scope mount on it, and the scope mount would not stay. That wouldn't hold the scope tight, so the scope wasn't accurate. I probably shot at 5 or 6 deer that day and missed every one of them, and then I ripped the scope off the top of it and threw it. I think I threw it in the ditch, and I saw a squirrel run across the ground, and I shot the quail. I shot the quail with that SKS and took its wing off, went over and gave it to my wife's uncle.
How many years did you hunt with that SKS? Because I remember the last time I went, I don't know. One time I went hunting with you, you're using the SKS, and I remember you saying that you shot and missed several times.
Yeah,
so it might have been.
I think I hunted with it about 3 years.
And 17 is a good round for coyotes.
Oh, Andy B said a guy down the street from him built some big guns, Barrett 50s. Those are big. I haven't hunted for a few years, but my go-to hunting rifle now is the 300 Win Mag because I don't like looking for them. I don't like looking for the deer. When you shoot it with that, they just fall over. And it's ethical, unless you hit them in a bad spot, then it's pretty unethical. But as long as you make a clean shot on them, it drops them instantly. Well, we have hit the 2-hour mark already. Jimmy's Tractor 50 made coyote disappear. Jay Chris back, SKS like an AK-47. SKS and AK use the same round. It's a 7.62 by 39. But yep, we have hit the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna go hang out with the family a little bit. I'll see what I got stored away in the old YouTube footage for the next edit. Hey, Logger Wade showed up. Hey, Logger Wade.
Wow.
Haven't seen him in here for a little while. Hope everything's going well for you guys down there. Oh, Mike Manfred. Man, now I can't shut it down because all these other people are showing up. Logger Wade must have been streaming earlier. Oh, I wear this hat every single day. This is my hat. Says he loves the hat. If you watch, not the last video I put up, but the one before that, I even talked about this hat in that video. Yeah, we're doing good up here, and we're still planning on heading down your direction for spring break. So, tell me when. This one's still going strong. Well, I don't have a whole lot of hair, but this one's still going strong. But I think we're going to be down your way for spring break. And my wife was looking at maybe staying at the same place that my son and I did, Twin Lakes. Mike Manfred said, spend time with the family, we understand. Well, I can't now because Wade showed up and Mike Manfred showed up. And Jake Respect, get your purple thongs at loggerwade.com. No thongs for me. Oh, Jason Helsley asked how the secret project was going, Wade. And I'm wondering if it's the project that Wade and I talked about on the phone. I think he may have something in the works. Need to give him a wrench.
We don't have a wrench.
Well, Wade has very seldom come onto my channel. Let's see. All right, Wade's got a wrench now. So Wade just got him a wrench. He's got a whole bunch of wrenches in his truck in his shop, though.
Stepping up in the world, Wade.
He just gained a couple thousand for that. All right, yeah, send me some pics. I won't say anything to anybody. Thanks for the wrench. Wade was pretty instrumental too in helping me get this whole thing going after Randy talked me into it. And then
What's that, Wade, this channel or the next one?
What's that?
This channel or the next one?
this channel because I think Wade single-handedly gave me about 400 subscribers right out of the gate.
Yeah, I didn't have many to give you.
Wade Project's powered by Mountain Dew. Well, and it depends on what night it is. It might be powered by Mountain Dew and rum for Wade. What's the riffraff getting wrenches? Yeah, it'll be. We'll have to buy some tomatoes though, because you won't have any green tomatoes when we're down there for spring break. But I'd never had fried green tomatoes until I had them at Wade's house.
What?
That was the same question I got from him. I told him, I said,
your dad?
What?
With your dad, you have never had fried green tomatoes?
No. And I was talking to Wade on the phone about what we could bring and whatnot. And he said, well, we'll make some fried green maters. And I said, I'd never had fried green maters. And he acted like I was the devil or something. But they are fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, they are fantastic. Yeah, he's sitting out and doing rum. All right, Sandy, thanks for stopping in. Hope you have a good evening. See those big minutes when they're just open. What did I miss?
Chris Beck. I love wrenches. I should do a video of my wrench collection.
Diecast Nathaniel said, I like the crane models. Thank you. They're Tadanos. The one on the far side is pretty close to the one I operate. John Dirt, you can buy the plans to Wade's secret project at loggerwade.com. That's funny. Yeah, I think if we ever have a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to Wade's and I'm taking his Skidder and Brutus. Mike Schutler asks, what's the worst thing I found on shift inspection? Andy B. Crane Channel talking about maters. You never know what you're going to find here. The worst thing I found on crane inspections, probably a missing pin on a jib. I've seen a backlashed cable that was torn up clear to the drum, and they were still picking with it. Worst I've heard about is they had a 600-ton crawler on a wind farm, and when they put the tracks on it, the way the tracks pin to it, they've got two big pins that drive in that attach the tracks to the sides of the undercarriage, and they had left one of the pins out for a majority of the job. So that crane had been run around on that job site with only one pin holding the tracks on, and it had wallered. That the way they finally found it is the track assembly became loose enough that it was kind of wallering itself around, and yeah, that could have been catastrophic. Oh, zombie slasher. So were you streaming tonight, Wade, or were you just happen to be on the old YouTube? Oh, Mommy says he's got to go. Isn't that Molly? Molly said you got to go. Tell the family I said hi. We'll see you in a couple months.
See, now there's a dinner. Fried green tomatoes and squirrel. That's like mushrooms and there's an echo.
I don't have an echo.
Oh, I do. Where'd it come from? Came from over there.
It's not on my side.
All right. Yeah, that's like catfish and onions and mushrooms, and that's just a good fried dinner right there.
I could go for some morels. Morels and crappie. Or some white bass. You know anybody's got any of that?
Nope. I actually thought about thawing it out tonight.
Liar. TJ Hardy, what's the topic for tonight? A little bit of everything.
Squirrel and possum.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of everything tonight. James Bergeron says that's scary to think if a crane could have failed because of a missing pin. Absolutely. MSL logging Ian's making me hungry. Mike Manfred. I don't think Elite's on here anymore. If he is, he's just kind of hanging out and listening. Wonder if Wade sent me any pictures yet. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Boy, I wish I could turn this phone around and show you guys.
Yeah. Everybody in here is making me hungry for grease. Just grease. Just a bottle of grease. I think that's all I need. I'll be satisfied.
Just go get you a bottle of grease and drink it.
I'm looking. I got a pan full of bacon grease over there.
Well, I can't show you guys what Wade had up his sleeve, but you guys are gonna like it. MSL Logging says you've made my channel grow, Jimmy. Thanks, man. I don't know how. I mean, I try to help everybody as much as I can, but
Ooh.
What?
1 o'clock on a hazmat train.
Oh, that sounds fun.
My favorite.
So, Mike Manfred, was Wade streaming tonight, or was he just on YouTube? Jason Helsey said, if you're wanting some white bass, you should hook up with Lake Fork guy when you're in Texas. He's the king of catching them.
Sand bass.
I've never had them before. Randy's got a freezer full of them, and he won't share. D. McDonald, bacon grease is universally recognized as a good way to enjoy a cast iron skillet, or so I've been told. MSL Logging gained 50 subs a few live streams back. That's awesome.
Yeah.
If anybody's on here that's not subscribed to MSL Logging, they should go check MSL Logging out. I was going to tell everybody to go check out Logger Wade's channel, but everybody on here is probably already subscribed to Logger Wade. Oh, Randy, you can put a link to your channel in there if you want. You know how to do that, right? Go to your channel, highlight the web address up top, and throw it down there in comments and click enter. Oh, Barry Hansen said just upload another video.
Easy peasy.
I don't know about the white bass. Are they like hybrids, Randy?
As far as eating?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they're the same.
Andy B. Randy's in Missouri.
Missouri.
MSL Logging's up to 710 now.
All right. Well, time is squeezing in on me, so I'm going to have to jump off here.
Yeah, I need to as well. I need to go. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I need to go hang out with the family and go zoom in on Logger Wade's pictures of what you guys are going to really enjoy seeing. Josh Wellner just stopped in. How are you doing, Josh? Getting ready to shut this thing down.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and do my part.
Do your part, Randy.
Everybody, my name is Randy Palmer. I'm with G4 Outdoors. Thanks for everybody for sticking around, being kind to me, not being buttholes to me over here like they are on my channel. I don't have the best of subscribers, but whatever. I enjoy them all. Anyway, stop by if you like a little bit of comedy action with some outdoor action, fishing, anything of that sort. I'm upgrading equipment all the time. Videos are getting better. moving into a new line of videography as well. That's not going to be on my channel, but I really enjoy videography. So as soon as the seasons come around, I have more videos out. And as my normal outros go, thanks to everybody for sticking around G4 Outdoors. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. I'm out.
All right, with Randy's outro, I can't top that. So, Josh Wellner, that sucks for me. Just got done watering his ice rink. The plus side of this, Josh, is it'll replay so you can watch it from the beginning, I guess. But thanks for stopping in, everybody. Next video, we'll probably try to have it out Tuesday, maybe. We'll see what we can come up with. But I appreciate everybody. Like I always say, you guys keep me humble. I don't know where else to go with it. So with that, I guess To the Top Crane is out.